G'day buddies, Jacaro Toro here. On this channel I talk about Australian Aborigines, their languages, cultures, history and so on. And this here is the second video about compass points, cardinal directions. I said in the first video that I might make more videos. So here then is the second one. And in this video we are going to focus on the Pama-Nyungan subgroup Marrngu, including these three languages spoken in northwestern Western Australia along the coast. And there will be a third video after this one about the Ngayara languages spoken just south of the Marrngu languages. So both of these are Pama-Nyungan subgroups. Yes, so these languages were originally spoken in the western part of the Great Sandy Desert, which stretches almost all the way out to the Australian west coast. And since the end of the 1800s up until today, there has been a movement of people, of speakers of these languages from further inland out towards the coast. So these days, these languages are spoken approximately from Port Hedland in the south, Port Hedland, which has Australia's biggest port, and 600 kilometers northeast along the coast up to the town of Broome. People who have traveled around in Western Australia have often been to Broome and know where that is. Yes, since the 1960s there has on and off been a discussion about whether to include the northernmost language, Mangara, in this subgroup or not. It has been found that Mangara is closer to Karadjari than it is to Nyangumara. These days I see that some linguists, they call these two languages Marrngu proper, and Mangara is included in the subgroup, but a little bit to the side, so to speak, outside of Marrngu proper. Yes, these languages are closely related to the Wati subgroup, the Pama-Nyungan Wati subgroup. That would be the Western Desert cluster of Australia's Western Desert. There are some differences, though. They are close, but there are some differences. The verb conjugations are different, and there are differences in nominal morphology as well. Anyway, here we have names for the compass points. The Nyangumara words in blue come from the Nyangumara database I have access to, and there are two main Nyangumara dialects, coastal and inland, and therefore there are often two words, but there may also be more than two. So two words or two versions, so to speak. This is the same word here, but with an added suffix. The Karadjari and Mangara information here comes from Tyndale 1974, which I also used in the previous video. I have put a couple of question marks here because his transcriptions are not always 100% clear, but we will come to that. Now, when it comes to names for compass points here, we see that the similarities are great, especially up here. So here we have the same word for west in all three languages, as you can see. And this Nyangumada version, as I said, is the same word with an added suffix. The words for east have a common root here, a common element, kaga, and then follows a rhotic sound. And here I am a bit uncertain whether Tyndale with his R means the R with the tip of the tongue pointing backwards, or the R with the tip of the tongue pointing forwards. This is unclear. Nevertheless, as you can see, this here is the same word as this Nyangumada word. Yes, so same word here. And in fact, when it comes to compass points, it would seem that Mangara and Nyangumada here are the two languages that are closest, despite Mangara in general being closer to Karajari. Because if we look here, Karajari has the word that stands out, the name for north, Janja. While this Nyangumada word and this Mangara word are very similar. It is only the first and the last sound that are different. So at the end we have different vowels. In the beginning we have a rhotic sound in one case and a glide / half vowel in the other. So we get Yalingi and Ralinga. So obviously very similar. The biggest differences are found down here. So as you can see, there were 3 different words for south in the Nyangumada database. And these 2 are related with each other, to each other. The only difference, in fact, is whether the tip of the tongue is pointing forwards or backwards here. Yes. And here, this is a bit questionable here. I'm not sure what Tyndale means with the vowel E here. He writes K, E, long L, and A. And when English speakers write E, they usually want to represent the sound that in the International Phonetic Alphabet is written like this. And that is in many European languages also written with this letter, E. So I would think that that is most likely, that this is supposed to be killa or something. Of course, Tyndale could have meant the sound that in the International Phonetic Alphabet is written like this, E. And in many languages in Europe, apart from English, this sound E is written with the letter E. But while E, the sound E is usually found in Pama-Nyungan languages, E is rare. So killa seems to be the most likely interpretation. Anyway, compass points in Marrngu languages, and we saw a lot of similarities up here and really only bigger differences here. Well, this is all for today. But as I already indicated, I will be back with a third video about names for compass points. So, see you later.